Hello there and good evening. My name is Hinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you 3 tips for knitting and crocheting which I have discovered through my knitting and crochet journey, which you might also find useful. The first one, and this one might be a little bit controversial, is it's okay to have a bunch of whips. Now let me paint a scenario for you. Imagine that you're in the middle of a project that you're all excited about and you're in the middle of doing it and it's going great. You're almost finished. And then one day you either receive new yarn from a package that just came, or you see some yarn in a store and you finally got a brand new idea for a new project that you want to try. And you're all excited about this new project, but no, wait, you first want to finish the project that you've been working on. But then you're already so excited for the new one that the excitement for the previous project goes away, and by the time you finish the previous project, the excitement for the new one has already petered down a little bit. So instead of doing that, I suggest simply grab the moment, grab the excitement of the moment, leave your previous project on the side. It's not going to go anywhere, don't worry, and just enjoy the excitement of this brand new idea and the brand new yarn that you have. Begin that project. And then when you get a little bit tired from the new project, you could go back to the first one and finish up that one. And then you'll already have the patience to finish the new one, etc., etc. And therefore, I suggest don't be afraid to start a new project if you're all excited about it, because eventually the excitement will die down and it's a shame not to use it. The second tip that I want to share with you is to use your project as your pattern. Now, usually you could use either stitch markers or following a pattern row by row to see exactly where you're holding on your project. But for me, that's a little bit hard to keep up to. Sometimes I want to advance more faster and I don't have the patience to each time look back at the pattern to see where I'm holding. So I basically taught myself to use my project as my own pattern. So for example, if I'm doing this kind of project, first of all, for the ribbing part, I simply count how many rows I'm doing. So I look on these V's, and if they're a little bit hard to see, then I go according to the purl stitches. And you can see that each kind of ridge thing is 1 row. So then I could count easily, let's say starting from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I see that I have 6 rows of ribbing over here. Another thing, how would I know where the start is? On this project, I had already sewn in the tails, but for example, let's say here is the tail of the project. So like this, I could tell exactly right away where is the beginning and the end of the row. And when it comes to these stitches between the cable stitches, for example, so then I count from one cable twist to the next. For example, here I see that this is a cable row. So then beginning from the next one, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then I see that the 15th row is the row for the next cable. And then I'll know for the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. And like this, I like to use my own project as my pattern and to help me keep up and see where I'm holding. The third thing that I want to share with you is something that I have discovered not too long ago, and it could make pretty much of a difference when you're planning your knitted project. This is for knitting only. That's about the different ways that you can make a ribbing. There is knit 1, purl 1 ribbing that you can make, and there's knit 2, purl 2 ribbing that you could make, and I'll show you the difference on both of them. The knit 1, purl 1 ribbing creates a little bit of a looser ribbing since it's just one stitch like this, and then the purl one that kind of cinches it in a little bit. So it makes it a little bit wider than if you have a knit 2, purl 2, which you could see it cinches it up a little bit more, and it makes sense because here you have, let's say, the two knit stitches that kind of cover the 2 purl stitches, whereas here you have only 1 stitch that kind of covers the purl stitch. If you want it to be a bit more cinched up, you'll do a 2 knit 2 purl, and if you want it to be a little bit wider, then you'll do a 1 knit 1 purl. So those are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you find them useful and it'll make your knitting and crochet projects a little bit easier. All the best!